what do you call this? Yeah, it's a hairline, right?
Yeah, hair rig.
Hair rig, sorry.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, pull in the water. Well.
I didn't have my bait runner set. He was going to take my pole.
Wow. Well, you know what, Brad? I've never done one of those like clips before the episode starts, and this might have to be the first.
That was pretty good. Woo.
It's time for Washington Fish Quest. This episode, Introduction to Washington Carp. Hey Washington Fish Questers, Blake here. Well, it's the middle of August. You know, I'm going after a fish here that commonly weighs over 10 pounds. As you know, I get a nice run of king salmon not too far from my house. That's right, I'm going common carping. I might have had you fooled if not for the title of the video. Oh well. So I'm camping down at Potholes Reservoir, and I'm headed up to historic Moses Lake. My buddy Brad, who you've seen in some ice fishing episodes, is going to show me the ropes when it comes to carping, and I believe his buddies Troy and CJ are going to show up too. Well, I'm super excited to go meet Brad and learn about carping. I've caught maybe 2 or 3 carp in my life, and never intentionally, but there is a huge appreciation of carp growing in the U.S. and in Washington State, and Moses Lake is probably the largest population fishery of them. So I'm super excited to learn what it's all about, and we'll learn together today. Alright, with I-90, you're literally right there. I don't know a way not to spot burn that we're at Blue Heron Park.
Hey Blake, hey Washington Fish Quest. We're out here on Moses Lake doing a little bit of carp fishing. We're going to show Blake and everybody else how we set up our gear and what we do to catch these big lake pigs, as we call them.
Alright. Hey, what are these things?
So these are the bite alarms that we use when we have more of this Euro set up. As the line goes through it, it'll pull through and set off our alarm here.
Oh, whoa.
Or if it drops back, it'll set off the alarm.
Dang.
And they're jumping.
Yeah, there's one right there.
Pretty frequent out on the potholes and Scootney Reservoir and further down a little bit, but it's the first I've ever seen one really up here. Maybe he's injured and alone. You usually don't see him alone.
Yeah, that is weird. Just talking to Brad about maybe grabbing my pole. We had a peepee. Now it could have just been the line falling back a little tick. Or it could be a 30-pound carp headed for potholes. Alright, while we're waiting here, Brad's going to show me how to rig up for carp.
So usually on these cheap method feeders, they give you an example, your main line, feed it into that rubber holder, into your method lead, and then they give you a swivel in here. It's usually poked in there.
And what the heck is the deal with this crazy lead? It's like a pine cone.
Yeah, so what it does is it holds your bait in there and all the lead's on the bottom, so when it falls to the bottom, oops, pulled it outside, it lands like that and leaves your bait right there.
Alright, step 1, I'm going to put my braid through this little funnel. There we go. Done it. Now I got my method lead on the main line.
Yep, and then you just tie your swivel on however you would, your barrel swivel on it.
Alright.
However you would want to.
Got the barrel swivel, so what I'm going to do is I like to use a polymer knot for this. Very simple knot that keeps the braid from biting down on itself.
I use the same knot every time, that polymer knot.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got a little hair rig set up with some imitation corn, and this is stuff that floats. So on the bottom it should lift the hook up just a little bit and waft around. We can check it before we cast it out.
Oh, cool.
And see if it needs to be weighted. So you can take and pinch a small lead, depending on how high you want that to float up off the bottom. So
very good. Will they hit stuff that's like floating mid water, or?
They can hit anything from right off the bottom to, there's people in Europe that, depending on the time of year, if the fish are in the mid-water column, they'll use what's called a zig rig, and they'll float stuff, I don't know, it can be 7 to 8 feet off the bottom. So they have a lead on the bottom and then a device floating all the way up with a piece of, they soak foam or cork in some kind of scent, fruity scents or other fishy scents. It depends on the fishery, and those carp will swim along and see these either yellow or black. A lot of guys just use a little black piece of foam, and the fish see it as like a water bug, and they just swim by and grab it.
Oh, cool.
So
that's so cool.
But here on Moses Lake, we usually get them on the bottom. This is called a hair rig. It's usually set up so that as the fish like sucks it into its mouth and then realizes it's fake, as it blows it out, that hook should bend over and go into the corner of their mouth. Pack bait we have here.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I try to get it from here, since I'm casting a good distance. I try to get it packed on there pretty well. It still flies off every once in a while.
What do you call this? Yeah, it's a hairline, right?
Yeah, hair rig.
Hair rig, sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh, pull in the water. Well.
I didn't have my bait runner set. He was going to take my pole.
Wow. Well, you know what, Brad? I've never done one of those like clips before the episode starts, and this might have to be the first.
That was pretty good. Woo.
Oh, I'm so glad I was recording. That was awesome.
I'm glad my phone wasn't in my pocket, because it was going to go in too.
Yeah, you can move, Brad. Like, we're the same age. I don't know. That was quite a hurdle. All right, well, Brad's got the first carp of the day on here. This is awesome. Oh, yeah.
Can you grab my net for me?
Sure will. Do you want me to come hold the pole and you can get the net ready?
I think I got it.
Okay. Hey, there's Troy.
Get the net! Oh, we already got one?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Hey!
Woo.
Wow.
Nice little common carp.
How much you think this carp weighs?
Probably about 12.
Wow. Yeah, they look even bigger out of the water, that's for sure.
Yep, there you go. Little stack of corn on a hair rig. These don't float, that was just laying on the bottom, so.
Oh, dang. Well, very cool.
Give them a little pull to breathe in and just get a picture. Oh, no, he's not even. He's probably a 10 pound.
A 10 pounder?
Yeah, little 10 pounder.
So is that about like an average carp, or?
No, this is a little smaller than what we usually catch, but.
All right. Well, dang. I'm pumped. That's awesome. That's for most anglers, that's a huge fish.
Yeah,
oh, that's beautiful.
Sometimes when they're feeling real feisty, they'll hold it up themselves. He's not going to. But you can always tell it's a carp because they've got these two sets of barbels. So there's the little one here, and then the bigger one. They've got that on both sides. So that's how you can distinguish them from the native fish the native suckers and other things in Washington. Or if you're down south, you can distinguish them from a smallmouth buffalo. Smallmouth buffalo will have a completely black eye. There won't be that gold rim around it. And then smallmouth buffalo will not have the barbels. Ready? Let's slice it, scare them away.
Oh, there we go. Hey, awesome. All right, so what do we got here? This is a pack bait?
So this is pack bait. I make this myself. You can find all the popular carp fishing YouTube channels. He uses panko breadcrumb with strawberry jello and corn. I change up his recipe a little bit and I add some old-fashioned oats. And then I like to add pieces of, or a can of chickpeas also.
Oh,
chickpeas or hominy. I usually use one or the other. So this is a holder here. You just pack that in there, and then you can take this and those ridges right there, and you just kind of pack it in there. Just push it as hard as you can, and then squeeze it the other direction, and it usually comes right out on there. You can kind of give it a squeeze. And it'll give you a little ball of pack bait there. And if you want to go bigger than that, you can grab a handful and add to it, or you can leave it how it is, and we'll suck that swivel down into that method lead. And then you just set that there, and we'll see how it goes.
Dang, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
So interesting to be using something like a 4-inch leader, you know?
Yep, because you want, so this, as it hits the water, actually we could do a demonstration right here if we want to with this first batch. We could show you what it does instead of just casting it out.
Your call, man.
We'll set it out right here and you can see what that pack bait does. I don't know if you can see that there.
Yep.
So we'll just drop it in. It's going to sink to the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And that pack bait, as it soaks up more and more water, it'll just kind of flower out off of that lead, and then your bait is sitting there floating right in the middle of it, sitting there.
Oh, very cool.
So it just kind of makes a little tiny bed of feed for them to come into. So as they're swimming around looking for goodies, they pick up the scent of that strawberry, the hemp oil, and if you put any kind of alcohol in there, it helps pull that smell out too for them. And if they're in the area, they'll spot that down there and come down and vacuum it up with that mouth that we showed you.
Very cool.
Perfect. I mean, you can expect a bite within a few minutes if you hit right where they're showing like that. A lot of times you'll set the pull down and then wham, you have one.
You just jinxed it, Brad. Thanks.
Oh yeah, I tried.
So I leave my bail open, or?
Either that or loosen your flip your bail and then loosen your drag down quite a bit to where they can like freely kind of pull the line out. Then you just have to adjust the
Yeah, so this is instead of using just a method lead, this is a bag designed to dissolve in water, and all it does is creates a more concentrated area of, I guess, feed, for lack of a better term. They're not too expensive. They're about $5 a bag or something, which
I think they're for the
actually, yeah, I guess it's expensive. It costs as much as gas now.
How many did you get in the bag? How many did you get for the $5?
I think they 10 or 15, something like that.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Of course, I also buy like a bunch of different sizes, so.
All right, so for our European friends or people in Washington, you can't chum in most Washington lakes. However, the method lead is not considered chumming because you have the bait as you cast it out. You're not just throwing things into the water. And so yeah, that's how we gotta do it here.
The vegetarians.
Yeah, Troy got a vegetarian fish there. Very inclusive show here. Troy's got a screamer there. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Woo! Yeah, I think you might have a combo. You might have the surf and turf. Well, that's a net. Uh oh.
I think it's probably caught in mine.
Okay. That's fine.
Troy was just saying that carp fishing's half catching fish, one half gardening, and you know, I think when I troll for salmon, it's not much different. Brad put on my rod there I don't know if you can see a little black gizmo above the reel, and it turns like this, and you know, if something starts to take the line, so it sets an alarm off. So it's kind of a, I assume, cheaper version of the bite alarms.
Yeah, that's a cheaper version of a bite alarm, but they do work very well. Nope.
Hey, all right. We're just talking about Ted Lasso, and Brad got into one.
Brad's got one on.
To Brad's great credit, he tried to hand it off to me, but I did the pride thing, and
Me and Blake are filming because neither one of us is going to grab the net.
yeah, that's right.
Because that's too productive, Brad.
That one's really pulling. Oh, giving you the surf and turf treatment.
Yeah.
Little carp, a little salad. Check out Troy with the net there. That's a proper net. Look at that.
It's a proper English net, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, what do they call Stranger Things in England?
But I don't know.
Bit odd, isn't it?
Very good. Hey.
There we go.
All right, yeah, this one is quite a bit bigger than the first, I'd say. A few pounds anyway. Woo!
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it's great.
That's about average Moses Lake, right?
A little bit smaller than average, yeah. On the small side of the bell curve.
A small average, dang.
13, 14 pound.
Wow.
I think my biggest out of this lake is 27 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. You
Oh,
got
that's
the biggest.
wild.
Yeah,
Heck,
he's
man,
got
I'd settle for a little below average. That's how could you go wrong? I mean, if this fishery is in your backyard, then
Yep.
it'd be crazy not to take advantage of it.
They're fun to catch.
I'd say besides probably like something like tiger muskie, they're probably the strongest fighting purely freshwater fish. I know people will say like, but what about salmon or steelhead? But those spend most of their lives in the saltwater, so those are more of a saltwater fish you catch in freshwater. These are purely freshwater, so.
Brad has observed that they're hitting things on the bottom, so we're gonna switch out the corn I've been using, which is floaty corn.
So this is called a baiting needle. You just thread your whatever bait you're using on there. You have a little loop at the end of your hair rig,
Oh yeah.
and if you can manage to get that through, you hook that on there and then slide them on.
Give it a push. Oh, very cool. Yeah, all right.
There we go.
Thank you, thank you. Those are some native ski-doers of Moses Lake. Like way to challenge the whole bow fishing thing, you know, if people are...
Oh, there you go. There we go.
I don't know how this works. Get this off. Hey!
Woo! And he's in.
Grab the big net. This guy decided to go on a jungle cruise though.
Got you in there deep.
Got me in the pretty deep. I think he's off. Oh, it's cousin it. There goes Troy and Brad. Over here shooting the bull and pole star going off. Dang, hard cheese, man. Troy and I just can't seem to catch a carp. What has he got?
Oh, that's funny. His went off and then ours went off.
All three of us, man.
He caught a really nice smallmouth. That's one thing that we do bycatch a lot of is smallmouth.
That was a smallmouth?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big. Man, I can just not seem to figure these weeds out. Troy, you know, tries to seem to get the carp over the weeds with a high retrieve, whereas Brad cuts through them. Like, he pretty much like pulls it straight back with the theory of it'll actually slice through the weeds. I've tried both, and neither seems to be working for me, so we'll see. Next carp I get, I'm really gonna let it run, so that way when I go to pull through the weed bed, it can't just like try to bury itself in there. Hopefully it'll be a little too exhausted. So next one I get, I'm really gonna give it some play. Hey, there's Troy. He's congratulations on that personal smallmouth bass. Do you want to take a second and talk about your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. It's got like 76 subscribers now. It's called Ed in the Tent Outdoors. I started it because I had nothing better to do when COVID struck, and I tell people I have it so that my son will love me, because my son loves YouTubers. You know, it's a lot of carp fishing. It's a lot of, now I'm going up trying to catch suckers on the fly. I'm trying to get saltwater fishing in.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. And something really unique about your channels, it seems like there's some cryptozoology in there, some maybe, I don't know what you call it, local mythology. I saw you had a Mills Hole video up.
Yeah, so that's kind of all falls under this it's named after a guy named Charles Fort, and they call it Fortean, and it's basically anything weird or bizarre. So it'd be like ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, Mel's Hole, anything like that would be called Fortean. If any of your subscribers go to that channel, I apologize. They're gonna have to listen to this voice upload on videos that are uploaded when I get around to it.
Oh no, man! I think you're being pretty active. So yeah, check out his channel.
There we go, Brad. Get it.
He's on there, but he's in the weeds deep.
Brad's still got him on, but he's in the weeds deep. Notice his expert skill, not just like trying to horse him through the weeds, as I've been trying to do. Troy's over there getting the proper net, but I got the also proper net, but not quite as big. If it comes down to that.
Yeah, he's got me in.
Oh yeah, there he is.
Dun 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 dun.
Yep, looks like Troy's gonna let me handle this net job. Well, hey, I haven't caught my first carp, but I will net my first carp.
Is that a mirror? Oh, he's just a really
beat up.
Yeah, beat up. That's why there wasn't much of a fight.
Yeah, this fella's been through the ringer.
Yeah.
We'll probably extra gentle.
Yeah, we'll just leave him in the water.
Yeah, let's leave him in the water. Yeah, this could be the biggest one of the day. And by that I mean the biggest one of the three that Brad's caught. But it's, yeah, oh he is, yeah, but
he's got some ick on him.
Yeah, he's got some icky. Immune system's down, so we'll try to get him back in the wire with the least amount of stress as we can.
I think he's off the hook, so I'll just...
Oh, is he off the hook? There we go. See you later, big girl or big boy.
Yeah.
The bite is pretty dead. It's been probably an hour and a half to 2 hours since we've gotten the bite. I'm sitting here like a southern dandy under Brad's umbrella. We're gonna go to Chico's, which is a pretty well-renowned Moses Lake eatery. It's a pizzeria, and Brad's gonna treat me to my first Chico's, so looking forward to that. And we'll give it a try either later this evening or come back tomorrow morning.
The old puppy dogs.
Oh yeah. Whoa. Red's got the goods. So this is shrimp, olives, and mushroom. Holy smokes, they put a lot of toppings on.
Yeah.
This is pepperoni. This is pepperoni, olives, and mushrooms.
I just realized we got the same thing.
Well, thank you, sir. All right, here's my first bite of Chico's. You can see it's the shrimp.
I've never tried one of the shrimp.
Yeah, it's very good. So it is a thin crust, which I'm usually more of a thick cruster guy, but it's not, this might sound weird, but it's not like ultra crispy thin crust. So it's still like a pretty good chewy crust, even though it's sort of thin. But yeah, a lot of cheese, like a ton of toppings. So yeah, I think it's very good.
With Chico's, thing to do is you always gotta get a side of tomatoes. Slap one of those on top also.
Oh, really?
Everybody that I've ever eaten it with is always like, oh, you gotta get a side of tomatoes when you get it.
So Brad just tells me a thing to do is you get a side of tomatoes and you put the tomato on top as well. Let's see how that goes.
Tomato, shrimp, olive, and mushroom.
Oh, very good. Well, gentlemen, thanks for taking me carping.
You're welcome.
Shame they weren't biting.
Hey, well, Brad did okay.
We'll get some more.
Tight lines.
Hey, great to meet you, Troy. Probably see you in the winter. Hey, Washington Fish Questers. It is October now, late October, almost Halloween. So Brad did take me out the next day. We went to a different area of Moses Lake, and I proceeded to go 0 for 4. So and there was 2 fish I didn't get in that first day on there. So I went 0 for 8 for the trip for carp. So I obviously have some things to work on. Number one, a big rookie mistake, was you just gotta let them run, because A, you can damage their mouths if you don't. You just gotta let them tire out. I think as a new carper, it's tough to just let them head out into the middle of the lake like that with like basically no drag on, but you gotta let them get that initial burst out. And then 2, might be equipment related, because I was trying to think of what am I doing different than Brad and Troy. And my method leads were a little light. I'm gonna order some heavier method leads because that's what helps hook them when they go to split that hook out and then they rear up. That lead is actually like kind of what, you know, cements it into their sucker or their mouth there. So those are kind of 2 things I'm going to work on. I didn't air it until just now because I had, as you can see here, this was going to be my pack bait I was going to make. I had the intention of going out and redeeming myself, so I didn't put this up and look like a jabroni going 0 for 8 with carp. But, you know, I'm fine looking like a jabroni because I had a great time learning from Brad and Troy. And I definitely have the carp fishing bug now. Next spring I'm going to get out there and hit it early before all the weed growth, you know, probably May, June. And I hope to go back over to Moses, but I also really hope to target him here. So gigantic thanks to both those gentlemen. Check out Troy's YouTube channel, and especially Brad for setting it all up. And he was trying to spoon feed me that last carp. He really wanted me to get on it. I felt pretty bad not being able to deliver for him. But he did, you know, he did the old taught a man to fish, not gave him a fish, you know. So, you know, I actually have all the gear. I have it all, basically. I just need to assemble it. And I look forward to getting onto the carp next spring. And I'll see you then. Well, I'll see you before then. But regarding for carp, I'll see you then. So thank you so much. See you next time on Washington Fish Quest.